white. Between, in the red corner, representing Lifty Amateur Boxing Club, Vaughn. And in the blue corner, representing Devonport Amateur Boxing Club, Bugdale. Bugdale, blue, Vaughn in the red. And all the bouts are 3-minute rounds.
So here we are ready to go, and this is the first of the Western Counties Challenge belts. Craig, a great introduction to championship boxing for some of these lads.
It's absolutely fantastic. Novice competition keeps the Western County lads on the boil. Fantastic prize available. I'm sure you've seen the belts tonight. They're very impressive. And a lively opener here from Brad Bugdale from Devonport and Ben Vaughn from Lydney in the Forest of Dean.
Yeah, Brad in the green and white shorts, and Ben from the Forest of Dean in the red and white. That's the best way of recognising the two of them going at it in this first round, three-minute rounds. And once again, a good attendance here at the Bristol Sporting Club, who are putting on this show and really helping the amateur boxers of the region have a bit of a spotlight on them. We're happy to provide that. And Craig, as ever, you know these boxers pretty well. Tell us a little bit about Ben and Brad.
That's right. Well, Brad from the blue corner there, from Devonport, ABC in Plymouth. This is a rematch from several occasions across the season. Brad's Western Counties Novice Champion. He's 22 years of age. And how's this for tenacity? 28 bouts, winning 3, 24th this evening. And he's been around since Nelson lost his eye. I can remember him as a schoolboy. Good jab there, stiff jab from Ben Vaughn. Ben Vaughn, 21 years, 23 bouts, winning 10. And just nicking the contest at the moment for my money.
So when Nelson lost his eye, was that before or after head guards?
It was before gloves, I believe, nice.
We'll get the jokes out early and you can settle back. So Brad Bugdale then with the blue gloves. At the moment it's Ben using the ring a little bit more, taking the centre of the ring. Brad backing up into that neutral corner.
Brad, come on, before he sets. Hands up, come on.
A little clash there, but Brad shipped a left to the jaw just as they broke.
Come on, Brad, hands up. Forward.
Hush has come over the diners as they're looking at this opening contest, but I'm sure when the explosions start, the noise level will go up.
Undoubtedly. Ben throwing some classy stuff as Brad comes in for the attack. Just going onto the back foot, throwing some nice counter shots. Very effective, such as that one. That's a nice stiff jab again from Ben, catching the judge's eyes. But these three-minute rounds, it's all to play for still, but a good start for young Ben Vaughn.
Yeah, he's certainly taking the initiative at the moment. That left hand, that jab is flashing out, and every now and then it's just catching Brad Bugdale as he retreats across the ring. So Ben, again, will have enjoyed some success in that first round, first of 3. Once again then, so it's Ben Vaughn from Lydney in the Forest of Dean, in the red corner, taking a big glug of water from his trainer, his cornerman. And just once again, because this is the first bout, Craig, just explain to us what it will mean, you hope, to these boxers to actually be able to come away from a contest like this with a championship belt and say, you know, this is something concrete that I've actually won.
Well, it's a massive thing for guys that have not been in the England Boxing Elite Championships as yet. It keeps them on the boil. It gives them something to focus on, something to shoot for throughout the season. And there's massive bragging rights, isn't there? If you can say that you're Western Counties belt holder, then that's a big thing to boxers at this level.
And I think I'm right in saying their championship is all over before Christmas, isn't it? Their national championship at this level. That's
right. The senior novices is all over before Christmas this year. Could change next year, but the belt holders, even if they've been in the novices, will be able to defend prior to them being in the elites.
So for now, at least, it's given them something to aim for, isn't it, coming into the spring?
Very much so, and carries some prestige as well, mate.
Yeah, it certainly will, because the Bristol Sporting Club's been around for quite a while, and boxing on one of these shows is a privilege, and now they're going to get a big reward, and there's a good exchange by the two of them. Again, Ben, probably the busier of the two. Brad on the back foot, but just looking to pick his punches. Ben, the busier, as I say, trying to get that left jab into Ben's face. Parries one nicely on the glove there. Does Ben. Good movement by Brad. So at the moment, Ben is giving Brad plenty to think about here.
That's right, it's the straight shots and the overall defensive boxing that's having the success there for Ben. Brad, nice little sidestep there. He must get the lead hand up, though, to protect himself from these counters. He tends to be rushing in a little bit. If he can feint, draw the lead, then go, he might be having some more success. But I'm sure John Friendship, his trainer, will give him the right instruction at the end of this round.
Yeah, Ben's having some success, isn't he? After they go in close, and then on the way out again, he's been catching his opponent with that left jab again. He's had some success in the last round and again in this one.
That's right, it's counter shots that really do the damage, because it's almost like shutting the door in the guy's face. And as you can see there, good effort from Brad, just turned off cleverly there by Ben. But again, he's still there, Brad, and let me assure you, this Brad Bugdale is as tough as teak. He'll be still there at the end, I'm sure.
Yep, it's certainly still all there to be won at the moment. And Ben sees his opportunity and steps in. Brad in the green and white throws out the left jab himself. Ben more the aggressor throughout this so far, and there he goes, another attack, but ships one just as he goes on inside. So still a little bit cagey between the two of them as we come to the last 10 seconds of round number 2. Both these boys badly want to win this belt. And they've now got 3 minutes left to sort it out, with a minute in between to maybe get some decent advice from their cornerman.
That's right, Brian Higgs in the corner there, father of local professional Chris, you'll remember. Yep. Just giving Ben some advice there. And basically, should be just to settle down, settle into the rhythm he's had the first and second round. Look at the counters. Don't force it, it'll all happen. John Friendship there in Brad Bugdale's corner. He's telling Brad to be first, keep it sharp, to giving Ben nothing to read, basically nothing to counter. So I'm sure we're in for an intriguing last round. Yeah,
so it is all there to be won, and they will become the first winner of this belt in the 49 to 52 kilogram category. Third round of 3 then between Brad Bugdale from the blue corner wearing the green and white shorts against Ben Vaughn, the challenger, the other challenger from Lydney ABC. And I suspect that probably Brad has more work to do, needs to do more work in this final round, but they've both been told to go out and give it their all, and that's what they're going to do. So total contrast to what's gone before. And Brad has decided he's got to take the attack to his opponent after boxing on the counter for most of the first 2 rounds. Brad's clearly been told he's got to land some serious shots in this round if he's going to grab the victory. So it'll make it a very intriguing climax to this first contest. Brad Bugdale in the green and white. And it's just calm down again a little bit. Ben just staying out of harm's way if he can. And a noticeable change in the tactics then in those early seconds, Craig.
That's right, they're both instructed to go for it, I think, by the corner. So what they call in the trade a good old backside pinch. and they came out just settling down now to work. Ben very composed. Brad, sense of urgency about him, knows he's got it all to do. But as I say, with Brad, on every occasion, he'll give it absolutely 100%.
2 good shots there coming in from Ben, though, that caught Brad. So now the tempo's just slackened again just a little bit. It's Ben looking pretty comfortable. And again, his perhaps greater reach causing Brad some problems. So Ben Vaughn in the red. Just going comfortably round the ring to his left, looking for another opening. Bugdale's corner just shouting out, got a minute to go and he needs to work harder. And there he gets caught flush on the chin and gets a standing count. What do you think of that, Craig?
It's a fair one. He walked into a ramrod jab there, and but bear in mind, quality contest, because it's the first time referee Hemmings had to intervene throughout the contest.
It is actually, absolutely, yes. So credit to both boxers. They've just been concentrating on the proper skills, trying to land, no holding, no clinching, as clean as you like. And Ben Vaughn, just seconds away, you think, from clinching this championship belt. What a great occasion that will be for him. And there's the 10-second sign, and again Vaughn lands a couple more good shots, and there's a little stumble, but ruled as a knockdown. He just slightly touched down, and that probably is the end of the line for Brad Bugdale's hopes right at the end of the contest, and that's really unfortunate for him that came there just with, what, seconds to go.
It is. It's a fair one by Mike Hemming, because basically he did take a shot and stumbled as a result. So that was a fair one. And remember, the boxer's welfare and protection is paramount at all times. Brad put too good a display on to get hurt at any stage. So, as I say, it's only the last round we saw referee Hemming intervene twice. Up to then, very clean contest, well contested. Well done, both guys.
Certainly is. Let's see what the result was.
The main sponsor of the C ring also sponsored the first bout. Ollie and Dan from local pages. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Right, gentlemen, the winner of the flyweight belt, the unanimous decision to... Who is it? Bedford, yes. Callum in the red corner. From the Mayfair Amateur Boxing Club, Steve White. And the challenger from the Rough Diamonds Amateur Boxing Club, Callum Bedford. Bedford blue, white in the red.
So here we go for the second contest of the night, which is bound to be confusing with white in the red. But Steve White there coming in with the belt, so he's already won his challenge belt, and this is, I imagine, his first title defence, Craig.
That's right. I think Steve won this through his progress in the Novice Championships, and come out with a confident start here against Cheltenham's Callum Bedford. Steve, what is the 52-56 defence of the championship by Steve? His Western Counties Novice champion, 26 years of age, 17 bouts and winning 12.
Okay, so interesting start, and the two of them over there in that red corner. And I was going to say the identifying features of the two wearing black shorts is their names. S. White on the back of Steve White's shorts is the clue, against the rather more spangly shorts of his challenger Callum Bedford. It's White who's trying to work on the inside there. Just shows the breadth of coverage of the Western Counties belts. So this is a Plymouth against Cheltenham contest, Craig. Just, you know, and with the fight taking place in Bristol, it's a perfect neutral venue for the two of them.
That's right. I mean, we've got an absolutely huge region, the Western Counties. I mean, when you consider it spans from the Midlands right down to Plymouth, you know, that's a big area. This is a rematch from 2003, which was won unanimously by Steve.
From 2003?
2003. As my sources, or otherwise known as Google, tell me. And as you can see, Steve is very neat. It's short to mid-range. He throws some lovely short shots to great effect. And Callum trying to keep it long, but Steve very effective in close.
Yes, certainly is. And here he is again, just looking for his opportunity to step in with his opponent back against the ropes, but White looking to get inside. Again, there he is, jab, jab, and then throws the overhand right. Again, having some success is White, as Bedford's just looking a little bit wary of the incoming opponent and trying to work out, as you say, Craig, how he can try and keep it long.
That's right, he's got the right tactics, as Callum. He's trying to shut the guy out. But as Steve comes in, he just slips there. The overhand right and left hook, very effective. He's quite accurate in punching around the guard with those.
So, we'll see how the tactics pan out as this first round comes towards a close. White again just trapping him in that blue corner. Bedford gets out of it neatly though, and he'll soon hear the bell to end the round. But White certainly the busier of the two, landing more on the inside, and Bedford spent most of that 3 minutes just trying to work out how to keep White out, and didn't really launch too much of his own in an attacking mode.
That's right. Callum's coaches there will be telling him the same tactics again. Keep it long, shut him out, don't let him in, because Steve's strengths are definitely on the inside. I quite fancy the danger punch there from Steve is the left hook, and the kind of overhand right, the guarding against it, will come back with the left hook, and that's going to come in at quite some speed, I would imagine. But as I say, quite a difference in experience in here. 17 bouts from Steve and 6 from Callum. So it's very much a step up from Callum, and one that he's quite willing to take by the looks of things.
Yep. Again, the incentive is there. That belt that Steve brought into the ring at the start of the contest is up for grabs here. But you feel that Callum Bedford is going to have to rip it from the grasp of Steve White if he possibly can, and White determined not to let him anywhere near it. And White again starting aggressively, but Bedford up on his toes, throwing out the left jab. As we said, trying to keep it at long range if he can. Feints for the jab and throws the right that didn't land. Cut from White, trying to get close inside, just where he wants him. Body shot comes in, left hook. So at the moment, White looking pretty comfortable. And also they're just proving a little elusive, very swift on his feet, getting out of that corner, turning very nicely. Movement is almost as important as the punches you throw in this game.
Very much so, and it was some nice tight little angles there from Steve. You can tell he's quite handy with the upper body movement as well. The trunk defensive, side to side, and lay back as well, as you can just see there. Very effective. He just oozes confidence, doesn't he, really? That's right. I mean, when you've been around 17 bouts, you know, he's been around a little bit there. But there's a little head clash there, which Callum acknowledges. It's going to happen without the head guards now, I'm afraid. It's going to be part of the modern game. Yeah.
But at least, I suppose, the other side of that is the diners here who supporting this event can actually see the expressions on the faces of the boxers. They can get to know them in their mind's eye at least, and it all becomes a little bit more personal. And talking of personal, there's White landing 2 big blows to the face of Bedford. And again, he trapped him in that corner. And Bedford needs to get out of that situation on the ropes, but he's trapped again on the other side of the ring. Bedford just holding on to gain a little bit of respite. But White seems to be just wearing him down now, and these short-range shots are just beginning to take their toll, I think, of Callum Bedford. He's just struggling to move out of the way now, and every time White comes in, he's just trapping him, but there's a good response by Bedford.
That's right, back foot 1-2, another good right hand. So just when you think the pressure's getting to him, he's turning up. And again on the inside, he doesn't want to be there. Good right hand. Good clash of styles, good clash of tactics.
It's amazing what a bit of success suddenly can do to a boxer's confidence, isn't it?
And that's the beauty of the game. Only takes one shot to turn things around.
Yep, and so a brighter ending to the round there by Callum Bedford. Just when it really looked as if Steve White was getting well on top in the contest, he just found a couple of punches from somewhere and probably just gave Steve White something to think about that he wasn't actually considering at that point in time.
That's right. Well, it's just a little acknowledgement that, you know, when a guy's in front of you and he's punching back, that's not all she wrote, right to the last bell. It was a nice movement there, shifted his weight to the back foot, and a clever 1-2 from Callum. And yeah, clipped Steve there for a second. Steve applied the pressure again to good effect, but just needs to be careful here. The contest, for my money, is in the bag for Steve. He wants to make sure it stays that way.
Yeah, he's certainly put the pressure on. He's sucking in the oxygen at the moment and knows he's just 3 minutes away from retaining his belt. That's Steve White over there in the red corner, up off his stool from the Mayflower ABC. And 3 minutes away then from deciding the destination of this title. There's a right hand, a bit slappy from White, but still took its toll. And White again looking to start the round strongly and not give his opponent any opportunity of getting back into it like he did in the latter stages of round number 2.
Get close, keep it close.
So plenty of punches being thrown by White, but it's just got to be Bradford's got to try and pick his moment. But just when he has White at the range he wants, then White's on his way in and cuts down the distance, and the sheer attritional value of White, just taking him in close, the left hook to the body there, and again good left hook, again connects to the head. So he's hooked to the body, and then the right hand, the big swinging right hand comes from White, but Bedford almost tagged him there, but it's White who's putting the pressure on again, and Bedford just can't get those long shots off that he's wanting to because his opponent's on him in a flash. As soon as there's a gap between them, White closes it down, and it's proving very effective, and as you say, Craig, it does still look like it's in the bag for Steve White.
That's right indeed. I mean, it's the greater experience and the greater strength that's done the job here. But Callum shows some savvy movement there, some classy counter punches. But again, it's just the pure strength and experience of Steve that won't let him get his game plan together. Another good long-range shot there from Callum. So in the future, I think this guy's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, but for the moment, the overall physical presence of Steve White seems to be, I was going to say edging this one, but I think it's a bit more than that. There's a solid left hook that catches him, and Bedford will do well to survive the closing stages here. Very gallant effort indeed, and he's still trying to get his shots off too. Under increasing pressure from Steve White, there's just been no let-up in the number of punches that have been coming from the Plymouth boy. and Bedford can certainly be proud of the effort he's put in, because it's been a tough contest, and one that was there to be won. And Steve White has just grabbed it by the throat and is going to hang on to that belt if he possibly can. There's 10 seconds to go until the end of the round, and Steve White just keeping up the pressure right to the very end. Great effort from both boys, and two big shots. Catches Bedford right on the bell, and mutual respect, a big hug, and that was a tough contest.
That's a well-deserved win by Steve White. Put some great shots together, very strong, very powerful. But even bigger respect for Callum, giving away such an experience deficit. He really did box to orders very, very well, and that's the sign of something a bit special to come. Maybe in a few contest time would have been a different story, but for now, for my money, that's Steve White's contest.
Yeah, we'll get confirmation of that and see the presentation of the belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of bout number 2 for the second year running is White in the red corner.
Round of applause, please. Hallelujah. Fantastic. Photographs, please.
I know. Bout number 3 is for the lightweight belt. Between, in the red corner, the belt holder from Oakmead Amateur Boxing Club, Solomon Gilday Evans. And the challenger in the blue corner from Devices Amateur Boxing Club, Brandon Thomas. Thomas from Gilday Evans in the red.
So the third bout of the evening here on this Bristol Sporting Club show for the Western Counties Challenge belts. And here we have Solomon Gilday Evans defending his belt. He's from Oakmead ABC in Bournemouth against the Devices challenge of Brandon Thomas. And Brandon in the blue and silver, as if he was in Vegas, and Solomon in the slightly more sober red and white trunks.
That's right, yeah, we got Solomon Gilday Evans from Oakmead in Bournemouth. He's the current belt holder of 60-64K. He lost in the quarter-final novices to a Reading opponent. And we got Brandon Thomas, who's 18, 15-1-9. And he won his last contest at Devices ABC against a Worcester opponent on the 20th of March. From the southpaw stance, Gilday Evans. But some clever boxing there on the back foot from Brandon Thomas. Intriguing start.
Yeah, it certainly is. They both physically look very well matched indeed, and a lively start from both boys. Fast hands from Brandon Thomas, the challenger. So Thomas looking pretty confident as he challenges for this belt, currently owned by his opponent. And there's good left hand by Brandon Thomas, and another one as he turns away from his man. Big swinging right hand, and he then got caught by a left in return. After a frantic start, the pace beginning to just ease off a little bit, but still all guns blazing from both boys. Certainly nothing really to choose between the two of them at the moment, Craig.
Not just for me, Brandon's edging things. Very, very clever back foot and southpaw lead, left hook counter, right hook counter, beg your pardon. That's the telling punch at the moment. but some good pressure boxing there from Solomon. I think that's the way forward to negate the southpaw's awkwardness.
Yeah, so they're both throwing some big shots and having a little bit of success, both of them. Solomon Gilday Evan, the champion, in the red. You can see the brains whirring around there, looking for the opening. And there's the bell to end round number 1. Intriguing first 3 minutes between these two, and for your money you still reckon probably Brandon was just edging it there.
Just the more attractive shots at this stage. Towards the end there, Solomon really did pick up the game, and he needs to slip out to that right side and bring the left hand through. At the moment he's just slipping onto the left side, straight onto his jab. But at the moment, yeah, the more attractive shots for my money came from Brandon. How about you, Nigel?
Yeah, I would agree with that. They both put in a lot of effort, but he's probably been fractionally the busier. He's had some of the slightly crisper shots as well, and he just looks super confident, as if he belongs in there. And of course, if he's going to take the belt, that's what he needs to do.
That's right. See the father and son team of Paul and Ashley Wilkins in the corner there, Device's corner. You're telling him to keep it long. There's the hook again. Solomon's corner, no doubt, from Oakmead will be telling the man to stand on him, don't let him move. So again, we got a boxer-puncher scenario again.
Yeah, we certainly have. So Brandon Thomas is in the blue. Spangly shorts. Southpaw champion Solomon comes towards him. Again, Brandon gets tied in a little bit as Solomon just holds on, but Ken Brain, the referee, doesn't decide he needed to intervene on that occasion. Brandon just, as I say, keeping it long and just throws the right hand and a good left as Solomon Gilday Evans came in. So he's boxing well within himself, Brandon, as well, and that you get the feeling that Solomon is now just trying to make it a little bit more physical, rough him up just a little bit on the inside.
That's right. Try and take the feet away, try and take the boxing away from Brandon. But Brandon's got the stock answer to a southpaw, and there it is again, the left hook.
Beautiful turn as well, wasn't it?
Oh, fantastic, using it great effect. You don't want to stand in front of Solomon. He's, as you can just see there, he's a strong guy, and the tactics are absolutely right from both guys.
Yeah, and he's got into a nice rhythm as Brandon Thomas here, and light on his feet, and throws a good right hand there, and ships another one in return. But as Craig said, you don't want to stand in front of this guy, and that's what he's trying to avoid doing. On the move, turns nicely out of the corner, and throws a right hand that Solomon ducks underneath. Intriguing battle between these two. A somewhat more physical, brutal approach of Solomon, the champion, against Brandon Thomas, perhaps silkier skills. Good jabs coming in from Brandon Thomas, just sizing up his opponent. It gets through again, but this time Solomon steps inside. This rather unnerving habit of almost spitting his gum shield out midway through the round, just baring his lips and showing it. But there's good effort again by Brandon, and throws a big right hand that Solomon ducks out of the way of.
That's right, both guys. You can see Solomon leaning to his right and throwing the left hand, and you can see Brandon just stepping out to the left, throwing the left hook, right hand. Both guys are absolute boxing to orders perfectly.
Yeah, very interesting and intriguing contest, and that Brandon, not sure if we caught that on the camera, but he just literally went off the back of his stool. He went to sit down and the stool wasn't there, and he nearly ended up in a heap in the blue corner. Thankfully he saved himself. He's had enough shocks in the first 2 rounds dealing with his opponent that he doesn't need to end up on his backside courtesy of the stool not being in the right place. But Brandon's right in there, isn't he, to take this belt if he can put in another 3 minutes like he's put in 6 minutes so far.
That's right. I mean, the scoring system we've got now, Nige, is vastly different to that of previous years. It's now a 10-point must system. Whoever forces the contest, whoever dominates, with some nice boxing and some attractive shots as well. Is it going to be Brandon, or just on sheer work rate and tenacity, is it going to be Solomon? This round to tell us.
That's what they say in championship boxing in the professionals, isn't it, though, that you actually have to be extra good to actually take the belt of the champion. That judges inevitably, when they know somebody's a champion, they tend to maybe subconsciously side with them. So perhaps Brandon needs to make it really plain in this round.
Well, I couldn't possibly comment about judges and their opinions, but
not today, because you've done it for the last 6.
But I'm absolutely sure in a professional code you're right, Nigel.
I'm sure everybody's going to give a perfectly good decision of this one, but it's up to these 2 boxers to make it clear cut, and that's certainly what Brandon Thompson is trying to do. So once again, Brandon is pushing forward. Solomon, Gilday, Evans, then the champion in the red. Brandon Thompson just on the retreat there, takes one. He's just got to keep up the effort in this final round, but you think Solomon's his physical presence maybe beginning to have an effect here, Craig?
That's right, the big left hand's coming through from Southpaw Solomon, and it seems that the effort of that, and again, just as soon as I spoke, there was a counter there again. This is intriguing. I just really don't know which way to go with this one, Nigel.
No, very difficult to tell, but Brandon there lands again, but again, Solomon just closing the ring down and trying to get in some power shots when his opponent's up against the rope. Maybe just catching the eye a bit more in this final round. Who knows? Judges sitting all around the ring, they'll have a different angle on it all, and maybe they'll have a different view, but Brandon just on the retreat a little bit at the moment, and Solomon putting up a really game effort to hang on to this belt. He clearly realises it's close and needs to put in something special. And that's what he's trying to do, trying to put his foot on the gas in these closing moments and try and convince the judges that that belt belongs to him. Very difficult to split the 2 of them, but Solomon is doing his best to catch the eye, but a good left hand there by Brandon. Really good contest between the 2 of them. And there's 10 seconds to go. Brandon steps in again, and they're just exchanging brilliantly right at the end. What a great finish, great contest. And I wouldn't give you a decision if you paid me, Craig.
I'm going to belong to that school of thought as well, Nige, but I tell you what, if ever there was proof of the value in these championship belts, there it was.
Yeah, they both wanted it badly. Let's see who got it.
The winner of number 3 in the lightweight belt, retaining his belt, is Gilday Evans in the red corner. Bout number 4 is the vacant light welterweight belt. Between in the red corner representing Emerald from his boxing club, Winnie and Winterbourne. And in the blue corner representing Paddy Johns and his boxing club, Jack Nash. Nash in the blue, Winterbourne in the red.
So the first of the Bristol boxers on the bill here tonight, Jack Nash from Paddy Johns ABC, boxing out of the blue corner, challenging for the vacant belt at light welterweight, 60 to 64 kilogram category against Winnie Winterbourne from Chippenham from the Emeralds ABC. Immediately a slight glove problem, but a big night for both these boys again, Craig. And what price Jack Nash coming home with the belt?
Be fantastic, wouldn't it, for him coming out to Bristol, Paddy Johns. And Winnie, I've seen, he was in the youth championships many moons ago, and he always gives a good account of himself. Very tough lad, 18 years old, 16 bouts, only winning 6, which isn't a true reflection of Winnie's ability. Jack Nash, 26, 14 and 1/8, big age difference there. But as I say, you can see the youthful Winterbourne. He's doing the right thing, just boxing there, trying to take Nash's strength away from him.
How much can the age difference make in amateur boxing, Craig? You know, it's not a hugely long distance, but can just the mental know-how prove a telling factor?
I think it depends on the individual, Nige. I mean, some people develop more quickly than others. I've got guys in the gym 16 that have man strength. I've got guys that are 16 that are still boxing like 14, 15-year-olds. So very much into the individual's progression physically. Yeah,
well, Winterbourne at the moment, the younger man, doesn't seem too intimidated by the fact that he's in with somebody who I suppose could be his older brother or something like that. But it's Jack Nash in the black and white shorts against Winterbourne in the green and white. Again, Winterbourne getting into the swing of things a little bit more. In the end, it'll come down to who wants it more, who has the tactics right, who can adjust to what's going on in there in the ring. At the moment, it's all action, just looking to settle into a pattern. Nash goes in and lands a couple on the inside, but Winterbourne, good body movement, upper body movement, ducking out the way, but he's been trapped in that corner, but fights his way out of it beautifully. Puts Nash on the back foot. Jack Nash being called forward. You can hear Andy O'Kane in the background barking out the orders. Andy, of course, from the Paddy Johns gym, who is one of the backers of these new belts. So it's certainly something all of you guys in the Western Counties have longed for, and you've welcomed the opportunity to have a big night like this, Craig, haven't you?
Oh, it's great to finally have the opportunity to host them. Tynetees and Weir and the Midlands have done so successfully for a number of years. Here we are in the Western Counties, and I think you can see the value of them tonight, Nigel.
Yeah, because they both want it badly. As it is, Ken Brain has to call the break, and there's the bell to end that round. And Jack Nash on this near side in the blue corner, just breathing in deeply. And again, difficult to split the two of them in that round. I think Nash choosing to stand as he's getting his instructions. How did you see that one?
I saw some very good boxing from Winnie there. I did like the way that he dealt defensively with Jack's onslaughts. Jack again coming forward. Now this is the bone of contention on the new scoring system. Do the judges prefer boxing? Do they prefer coming forward? As we've seen in the last contest, it's very much coming forward. So we're at the mercy of the taste of the judges on that respect. Just well worth to point out at the moment, a massive congratulations to the Emeralds Club in gaining their national junior champion, Johnny Ward. Just did Sheffield weekend before last, so well done, John.
Yeah, all good news for West Country boxing, that's for sure. Just down the road in Chippenham, but it's, I suppose, for a Bristol audience, they'll be hoping that Jack Nash can come away with the belt on this one, but fast start to round number 2. Nash charging forward on the attack, trying to take the attack to Winnie. Winnie Winterbourne stands his ground. Rocks back out of the way against the ropes.
Come on, let's go. And again.
Jab by Winterbourne gets through.
Come on, boys. And again.
Nash just trying to throw plenty of punches and keep the pressure on, keep his opponent tied up against those ropes, but not landing anything particularly effective, in my view, there. But again, Winterbourne just forced onto the back foot by the sheer physical presence of Nash coming forward. Winterbourne, meanwhile, though, just has to flash that jab out and tries to throw the right as well, and then pushes Nash right the way back across the ring. Nash takes a little breather on the inside, and they square up again. Good movement by Winterbourne, body movement, avoids the punches coming his way. And at the moment, Winterbourne's proving quite an elusive target, even though he's pushed back against the ropes. Nash not really landing too much, and it's Winterbourne who now turns the advantage his way. Winterbourne just been warned to keep his head up a little bit, but he's been very effective at nullifying these attacks, hasn't he?
Very much so. He's gone into his shell, some clever roll-in, slip and slide, as they used to call it in the old days. And so far, has negated any real effect of Nash's big shots. There we are again, just gone into his shell. But again,
within himself, isn't he? And
he is very much so.
And just almost maybe waiting for Nash to wear himself out, and then he'll come back with his own. But look, there he is, trapped up against the ropes again, and Nash didn't really land anything of note, did he?
That's right. There's an awful lot coming, which is attracting the judges' eyes again on work rate. So there we go. But just maybe half a step back, and you'd see the openings a little bit more. But having said that, we're out here tonight.
I'm staying a long way around. I'm not getting any closer, I can tell you. Nash on the charge again, pushing him back into that corner, and now maybe trying to use his bulkier physique perhaps to pressurise Winnie Winterbourne. Winterbourne, fair play to him, is not fazed by it, and comes back himself towards the end of round number 2. Seconds to go, and there's his Devel to end that part of the contest. My money, Jack Nash has expended a lot of energy for not this equivalent reward.
That's right. I mean, novice, Nige, means novice. They're not going to get the shots and the accuracy that an elite or professional boxer would. But bear that in mind, the sheer tenacity and work rate of Nash, I think it's going to see him through. The boxing from Winnie, and I bear in mind, again, it's all about strength. Started very strongly, an 18-year-old lad with a 26-year-old man. Could be what's told here. With Winnie's talent, his mobility and his boxing ability, I think we're going to see something a bit special in a few years' time. Former professional boxer there, Liam Lathbury, one of Ronnie Davis's charge. Remember Ronnie Davis, trainer of Chris Eubank Jr. and Senior. Western Counties senior coach Darren Sullivan in the corner there with Jack Nash. We're going into the last round, and this could be the teller for me, Nige.
Yeah, well, it's 3 minutes to take possession of the belt. And Nash, with a furious flurry at Winterbourne, is not to be denied either. But he's shipped in 1 or 2 there. Nash just pressing him back into the corner. And 2 good shots to the head from Nash get through. Just under pressure, and can hear the instructions to keep pressing Winterbourne back into the corner. Don't allow him any space. Nash turns him round, almost throws him round there, but Winterbourne comes back and lands twice himself. But Nash needs to dominate short right. Caught Winterbourne on his way in there, and he's just beginning to look a little bit more tired, and now Nash, I think, is beginning to get through a bit more often.
That's right. I've seen some very, very nice, clever boxing from Winnie. Some nice turns off the far side of the rope there. But again, it looks as though it's just going to come down to that maturity. Jack stood in front of him, just sheer volume of punches. Although the more accurate stuff in places coming from Winnie, as you see the right hand there, Jack straight back on him, working, working, working. And it's that workman-like performance, I think, at this stage sees him in front.
Yeah, well, Nash just slightly off balance, turned his back involuntarily, and Ken Brain had to stop him, but they're back in the action again, and Nash again just trying to rough him up on the inside, and has a little success there. But Winterbourne gamely coming back, throwing those longer shots. But you just see Nash desperately wants this from the Paddy Johns gym in Kingswood, and he's just seconds away from perhaps taking that belt. Great achievement for him to be the Western Counties Challenge Belt champion. Winterbourne beginning to look pretty tired. Not surprisingly, he's had to work so hard just to keep out of harm's way and to land what he can himself. But Nash just on him all the time. And Winterbourne just sucks it up again and puts in one last effort. Can't be too long to go in this round, but look at very gallant effort indeed by Winterbourne as he just tries to get an opening himself.
Yeah, he knows he's nearly at the end there. That's a good mental clock there from Winnie, just knowing that he's got to put a push forward now. Time's clicking down, and he's still with him. Excellent contest.
And he took a couple of shots right at the end there, trapped up against the blue corner. But great effort by both boys, and let's see what the judges thought and who the belt's going to go to.
Sponsored by Ellie and Dan from local pages. Thank you, Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and the new light welterweight belt is Nash in the blue corner. Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 5 is for the vacant welterweight belt. Between, in the red corner representing Paynton and the Boxing Club, Jacob Abraham. And the blue corner representing Penguin and the Boxing Club, Danny Milner. Milner blue, Abraham red.
Well, Danny Milner, always a popular boxer on these shows, and always very popular with the man alongside me, Craig Turner. Because he's your club, so we'll allow you to be biased on this one, Craig, okay?
Great.
No, you can't say he's won already.
No, absolutely not. Jacob Abraham now from Paynton in the red corner. Southpaw, very, very strong guy. Danny is going to have to box this guy. He's going to have to box him, wait till he comes, right hand, left hook and away.
So furious start right away, and Danny right down on his haunches almost in that corner. In comes the southpaw Jacob Abraham. Like a bull in a china shop almost at the moment, Abraham, isn't he? Just coming in really fiercely, and Danny just got to stand his ground or maybe try and get out the way. What's he got to do?
This guy is superbly, superbly strong. Danny has to spin him out to the left-hand side, avoid the left hand, and just keep boxing, boxing, boxing. Hopefully he'll tire in the end, but a good right hook there from Abraham.
Yeah, he's Danny, a big, strong boy, isn't he?
He's a hugely strong boy. Danny's going to have to really be on his boxing here, back foot, try and bring him into the shots and avoid wear the storm.
Yeah, so it's Abraham starting like a train, and Milner trying to act like the buffers if he can.
Brad, calm it down.
So can Abraham keep going at this pace? Probably not, but what can Milner do in the
Get your
meantime?
hands up.
Milner caught by a right, clipped on the side of the head there by that right hook. Doesn't want to be stuck in the corner there and take the ships a left hook as well. So just got to keep on his toes if he can. And just keep out of harm's way, keep it long and not get trapped against the ropes.
Don't blow yourself out in the first round, Brad. It's him as he comes, Danny.
Craig issuing a few instructions from alongside me, which is unorthodox in commentary boxes normally, but we'll allow him this time because I think Danny needs a bit of help at the moment.
I'm trying to get my guy through the first round. Apologies, everybody.
Absolutely fine. And you're telling the viewers what he should do. You're just telling Danny in a slightly louder voice.
That's right. He's got to get back to his box. He's got to innate his attacks. Perhaps even grab Jacobs as he comes. But as you can see, he's a really powerful guy.
But of course, he'll have known what was to come, wouldn't he, before this contest? He knew exactly what Jacob Abraham was all about, didn't he?
That's right. Well, he's 18 bout guy, winning 11. But as you can see, I wouldn't fall out with him. Put it that way.
Well, Danny's having a bit more success in the closing stages of the round. He's certainly got a lot to think about, and again ships another right hand to the side of the head, but turns nicely. Back comes Abraham, and then Danny just lands a couple of counter shots as well, so he's not done too badly there actually. He stood up to the barrage, and in the second half of the round he was coming back into it a bit more.
That's right. What our plan was is to gradually wear Abraham down. As you can see, he's blowing a little bit there, and he's got some eye damage, which is, I think, usual there. Poor guy from Payton just sealing with it. He's got some fairly high pronounced cheekbones, so usually he does end up with a little love bite here and there. But the ideal was for us to run him around, see if he'll tire, and then turn up through the gears through the second and third.
The problem that you can't do anything about is this is a pretty small ring, isn't it? So you could have done with it being a bit bigger.
Yeah, about 17, 18 foot bigger, to be honest with you, by the looks of this. But as I say, Danny, very well seasoned. Boxed the Ambition Championships, Novice Championships, been a Haringey Box Cup. He's been around a bit, and he's been with strong guys before, so we'll see what happens now.
Yeah, so round number 2 then. Can Abraham come out at the same sort of rate he did in that first round? Can Danny stay out of harm's way and land some himself? Well, hopefully, from the Bristol point of view, Danny Milner will carry on as he did at the end of the first round, and some signs that he's going to achieve that. Abraham obviously wants to keep coming forward, but Danny Milner standing his ground. Just needs to turn out of that corner, get into the centre of the ring, and be trapped into the
right hand.
into the neutral corner, and then actually lands nicely, and then again forces Abraham back against the rope for the first time in the contest.
Again, come on.
Big swinging right hand by Abraham, but didn't connect, and Danny Milner got in a couple of shots on the inside. There's signs that maybe it's just going to change the complexities of this this contest. Certainly Milner managing to land a little bit more on the inside.
Bring him up inside. Bring him up.
So Abraham again on the charge, but Milner boxing calmly. But just needs to land a few more shots, because again we've noticed in the earlier contest it's the busier boxer who's tending to get the nod from the judges. Certainly Abraham's pretty busy. But Danny Milner again took a right hand. And now Abraham just holding on for the moment, taking a bit of a breather. Danny Milner has the physique to stand up to this.
Step over and go.
And Abraham not landing so many of these shots now, and his gum shields come out, so there'll be a little delay.
Concentrate.
So plenty of advice for Danny Milner from the corner and from Craig alongside me. Abraham just charges back into the attack, but there's a bit of bull in a china shop about it, and Danny Milner just stood there and looked at the target and picked him off a couple of times. Milner definitely gaining in confidence here. Maybe the contest is beginning to turn Milner's way as Abraham fiercely catches him again with a big left hand. But Milner the more composed at the moment, lands a good right hand to the side of the head, but Abraham just throwing more punches than Milner can, just the sheer volume of punches. And there's only seconds to go in the round. There is the bell to end that round, and Danny Milner, for my money, actually did pretty well in that round. He was certainly the calmer of the two boxers, and Abraham was getting a little bit ragged, I felt.
That's right. I think at the moment, unless we have a magnificent last round, it's too little too late. The sheer volume of what Jake's throwing is wearing Danny down. Although it tactically started to come together, so he's come together pretty well. So as I say, credit to Danny. He's been hit hard, but once again, as usual, he's still in there.
Yeah, he's got his game head on in that second round, and was actually thinking his way through that. Say maybe thinking, how the hell am I going to deal with this? But he was the calmer of the two boxers in that round. Here we go, round number 3, and you can see how much Abraham wants it. He just sprinted across the ring to Danny Milner, but Milner just needs to keep his cool and try and pick his man off.
Move left, right arm.
Furious action.
Come on, Jacob! Get your hands up!
So it's again plenty of leather being thrown.
Let's go!
Abraham just on the charge the whole time, turned nicely by Danny Milner, but Abraham was through the ropes.
Turn and go!
So Danny Milner boxing well within the turn beautifully there again, but and the gum shields come out for a second time. So there's a slight pause there, and allowing Abraham gets his breath back a little bit, but Danny Milner definitely the thinking boxer in this third round. And again, picking him off nicely. Beautiful shots by Danny Milner, coming on strong. Lands another couple again, and it's a great third round from Danny Milner at the moment. If he can just keep this up, it's still Abraham charging forward, and it's caught Danny Milner, who survived that pretty well in that corner, having had Abraham rocking just a little bit 30 seconds before. So Milner's just got to keep his wits about him and try and pick him off. Brilliant close to this contest. Danny Milner just needs to concentrate. Abraham, flurry of punches, I should say. And then the better shots are certainly coming from Milner, the cleaner shots, but there's just a barrage coming from his opponent. Not long to go. Milner just sucks up the oxygen and then turns Abraham again.
Work, Daddy, work!
It's still there, up for grabs if Milner can land a couple, but some big shots landed by Abraham throughout the contest, but some good contact there by Milner again, just picking him off that.
Big finish, Dad.
Those combinations, and Craig alongside me, you can hear us urging him to put up a big finish just to catch the judge's eye. It's the last 10 seconds here, and both boxers are furious. Flurry of action. What a great finish, what a great contest. Whoever's won the belt, well, they really earned it, and the standing ovation from the crowd here at the Bristol Hotel, the Bristol Sporting Club, and the Western Counties Challenge belt has certainly arrived. Well done to both boys. There we are, standing ovation, and Craig, if you're not too hoarse, Danny, whatever the result, put in a fantastic effort then.
That's a typical Danny Milner contest there. There's a bit of everything, a bit of drama, a bit of success, you know. I think, to be honest, the early stage of the contest, Jake really did dig it deep, and he started very positively. For my money, I think Jake's won that, but that's to take nothing away from our guy Danny Milner. I'm incredibly proud of him, and it's a privilege to coach him.
Yeah, well done to you and to Danny, and let's see what the result was.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and new welterweight belt holder, unanimous decision, Milner in the blue corner.
Well, Danny Milner gets the decision and is the new champion and the belt holder, and I don't think he can believe it. I won't ask Craig to comment because he's a little shocked, but well done Danny Milner then, winning for Downing.
Is for the middleweight belt between, in the red corner, and the holder of the belt from Paddy Jones on his boxing belt, Jake Toogood. And the challenger from Sewell on his boxing belt from the blue corner, Danny Ball. Ball in the ground, Toogood in the red.
So another Bristol boxer looking for a Western Counties Challenge belt. Well, he already owns it, does Jake Toogood from the Paddy Johns club in Kingswood. And he's in the, with the red gloves on, and lands a good left hand immediately on Dan Ball, the challenger from Sinwell. Craig Turner alongside me still. Tell us a little bit about these two boys.
Well, Jake's 20-year-old. He's 20 bouts, 115. Went to the semi-final of the Youth Championships in 2012. Dan, seasoned guy that we've seen before at the Sporting Club on plenty of occasions, boxed Danny Milner a while ago. 22 bouts, winning 12. Lively start. I've seen an interesting change in Jake over the past couple of seasons, as much as he's kind of got his adult strength, as we were talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
And always a very good technical boxer, but now he's got a bit of strength on the end of the shots. Very nice laid back upper body movement. He needs to keep the chin tucked a little bit though.
He's filled out in the right way, hasn't he?
That's right. You can see from his physique that he's got a great boxer's physique. Pretty much nothing in the legs, but these huge shoulders on him and a nice range, nice reach as well. Very nice to watch. He's pulling some nice angles, some nice shots. And at this stage, he's got Dan Ball asking questions of himself.
Certainly has. So it's another Bristolian looking to win a title, to hold on to his title, in fact. So Jake Toogood pushing him back into that blue corner, whipping in an uppercut there. Didn't quite land it, but very confident. But good first success of the round by Dan Ball from Sinwell. Toogood all just not really standing square on there, just took his eye off his opponent for a moment, throws a left, wild left that misses. And the gum shield is out there. So So short break while the offending item is sprayed. And then we'll be back into the action. This, again, 3 3-minute rounds for the Western Counties Challenge belt. Just holding on there. Too good with some support in the room, as you'd expect here in Bristol. Going downstairs there and then up top again, mixing the punches up a little bit, getting back into his rhythm again. Just the weight of the shots pushing Ball back against the ropes, and body shot landed there as well. So just physical presence getting on top here.
Yeah, Jake's doing the right thing. Danny Ball was incredibly strong. I mean, if you hit in the head, you'd have to pay to get back in. Honestly, he'd just send you flying. Jake's doing the right thing. The cumulative effect of shots around the guard, very accurate, and everything coming back from Danny at the moment, just that little bit, that shade out of range. But having some success, some good long right hands that are catching Jake, and as you can hear Andy O'Kane just in the background there, no silly shots, because you just simply can't stick your chin out in front of Danny Ball.
No, Jake started with the initiative, and it was really only a brief spell midway through the round where perhaps he just lost his concentration momentarily, and that allowed Dan Ball to have a little bit of success, but by the end of the round, Too Good was back on song and dominating. So approaching round number 2, the belt holder Jake Too Good against Dan Ball, the challenger. Too Good with the red gloves, Dan Ball from Sinwell ABC in the blue, of course. A few slaps to the ribs there on the inside, and then a good couple of crisp right hands that make contact. That one was a bit more snappy, but the overhand right is certainly causing some problems there, and Dan Ball having to take an 8 count as a bit of a breather.
That's right, that's what we call a protection count, obviously. These guys are, after all, on no wages, so we've got to look after the guys. But again, it's a cumulative effect, very accurate shots, and as you can see, Jake's very big at the weight as well. He is quite that bit bigger than Danny, but Danny's still in front of him, still having a go. Very proud guy, and he'll soon forget about that little mishap and be right back on the case.
Yeah, and Too Good's got a long reach as well, and some of these hooks that are coming in, swinging him in wide, probably out of the vision of Ball until they're 3/4 of the way there. Body shot and followed by another to the head. Ball replies. Just sends Too Good back a little bit. Right hand from Ball connects as well. Again, Too Good maybe just having the middle of the round little breather that he did in the first, and pays the penalty there as Ball has some success, but back on the bite goes Too Good and puts in some more effort again. And as soon as he does that, he gets his opponent on the back foot again. But again, I think guilty of a little bit of loss of concentration midway in the round there, Craig.
Yeah, I mean, although he's had a few contests there, Jake's still only 20 bouts, still very much a novice, and this great style he's got of kind of almost standing square to punch off both hands. So you can see he's got a fair whack on both hands as well. Just now and then the newness of him kind of gets found out. Lovely turn there and body shot. But you can see the novice in him just smothering his work there, falling in, smothering his work. There's a couple of little things there, but in the main, my goodness, what a talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I just felt that in this round and the last, he maybe just spent 10 seconds having a little think about it and not doing too much. And that allowed Ball back into it, but as soon as Too Good is back in the action, he's a fearsome prospect. can't afford to take too many rests. There's the 10-second warning for the end of the round. The ball just swings him round, turns him against the ropes. Doesn't manage to land anything. And the ball doesn't have anywhere to go at the end of the round because he's already in the blue corner. And there, over in the red corner, is the champion, the defending belt holder, Jake Toogood from Paddy Johns. And what would be the sort of plan for Jake Toogood's career now then? Now he's at this level, how would you expect him to progress in the next few years?
Well, I would imagine that he'd want to win his belt outright to begin with. That's the first plan.
Win it 3 times.
Win it 3 times, and then he takes it home. There's something else to dust. And then he'll progress to the Senior Elite Championships. The style he's got lends itself to certainly to England honours, like his club mate Ken Stewart, and also to GB if he wants to progress that way.
You think he could be like a future ABA champion, do you? That sort of level or not?
I think whatever Jake Toogood wants to do, he can do with this level of ability. But that is entirely up to him, and it's not for me or anyone else to tell him otherwise. But if he wants it, I think the world's there for him.
Okay, that's interesting to know. We'll watch his progress, I'm sure, on these shows in coming months and years. And there's Ball takes another hefty shot. Toogood again, just throwing those big right hands, swinging right hand coming in. Didn't make contact on that occasion. Left hand this time. Left-right combinations. Another big left hand. Not doing too much with the jab is Toogood because he's having a lot of success with the right and left hooks. There's an uppercut he throws. Just having his little rests maybe there. As back into the action again. Ball comes in, traps him in the corner, but Toogood turns nicely out and gets wrapped in the ribs for his troubles. And the physical presence again there gets through, and another count for Dan Ball. And in the other corner, Toogood is breathing pretty heavily himself. He's put a lot of effort into it to get to this stage. A little bit of blood needs to be wiped away there, I think, but we are going to continue. Not too much longer to go, and immediately Toogood just jumps on him. And these big hooks coming in that are coming from a fair distance out, and some solid punches getting through, Craig.
Puts you in mind of the kind of Cuban style. They sort of dance away, I don't give a monkeys, and then they're all over you. And you can see that now, that looseness, that technique. Gordon Hazel, my late dear friend, used to say, called it the rag dolly technique. You go so loose that they can't catch you. Yeah. And that's definitely what I've seen here from Jake. The other side of that is, of course, when you're a novice, you do leave yourself open now and then. And as we've seen, but very conclusive performance here from Jake Toogood. Take nothing away from Danny Ball. What a tough guy. Yeah,
absolutely. He's just been worn down really by the sheer force of nature that is Jake Toogood. And good finish here by Ball, it must be said. Just working hard and pushing Toogood back, and he's not going to let the champion off without a big flurry at the end, and had a lot of success. 10 seconds to go. And Toogood just needs to show everybody that he's the boss. But Dan Ball, great spirit there to come up with that finishing flourish. I thought it was the 10-second warning, obviously not. Somebody else bashing a table. There is the bell. Great effort by both boxers, and you would imagine Jake Toogood has retained his belt, but Dan Ball has come out of it with a huge amount of credit.
Very much so. He's in with a major talent in West Country boxing, and no disgrace in that at all. And actually, the last couple of minutes of the last round were his best. He really dug deep, really got in the trenches, and tomorrow Jake Toogood's going to know he's been in a fight.
Certainly will. Let's wait for the official declaration of who's won that one.
They've gone off for leather for everyone, have they? What are you thinking of? I've shoved a bit of the rope.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner and retaining his belt for the second time, 2-0 in the red corner. Bout number 7 is for the vacant light heavyweight belt between, in the red corner, representing Torquay Warriors, Zane Turner. And in the blue corner, representing Winterbourne, Alex Devel. Devel in the blue, Turner in the red.
So the latest contest here at the Bristol Sporting Club. Me, Nigel Turner, him, Craig Turner, and in the ring, Zane Turner, but he's not related to me. What about you, Craig?
No, well, not as far as I know.
Anything's possible, I suppose. So Zane Turner then, we're as neutral as we possibly can be against Alex Devel in the blue corner, so wearing the blue gloves. So Zane Turner, backed up against the ropes, lands a good right hand, turns him off it. When Craig's looked back through the family tree, he'll tell us a little bit about these two. What do you know?
That's right. Well, this is obviously the 75 to 81 kilo vacant belt. Zane's 19, 27 bouts winning 12. He was a junior national finalist back in 2013. And Alex, 22-year-old, 18 bouts winning 10. He's an electrician. He's 6 out of 7 bouts this season. Good record for the season. Last time I saw him boxing, he really dug deep. Boxed a Royal Marine called Kurt Taylor at Exmouth, and he won despite being cut early in the second. So he's got some grit.
Yeah, sounds like a good performer. If Zane wins, though, it's up to me or Craig to be the one that claims him for our family, isn't it? But at the moment, it's the first round between these two. Alex Devel just trying to come across the ring and push his opponent back. Watching warily for the other. And once again, a belt is at stake here, so there's going to be no lack of effort. Alex just pushing forward, trying to cut the ring down again. Comes in behind the jab, but doesn't throw the right hand in the end, and Turner comes back at him. Turner just trying to anticipate when that jab's coming, then comes in himself. Good left hand on the break there by Devel. Turner trying to work the inside there. Devel certainly trying to trap him in the corner, set him up with the jab and then unload, but just not quite finding his range at the moment, Craig.
That's right, he's got superior height and reach, as you can see, Devel, and he's kind of smothering his work. He's kind of climbing on Turner, and Turner doing the right thing, trying to take away that height and reach from him, having some success with that. The thing that worries me about Zane is that he carries the front hand very low, and there's a right hand, a long right hand could really do some damage there, but at the moment Zane's not seen that, and good strong finish there from Zane.
Yeah, if he wants to catch the judge's eye at the end of the round, that was the way to do it from Zane Turner over there in the red corner. Takes his place on the stool and takes a breather and a gulp of water. So Zane Turner from the Torquay Warriors. It's an all-Devon derby, this one. His opponents from Bedford, all very much part of the Western Counties boxing family. And this the vacant belt at light heavyweight. Over in the blue corner, Alex Devel from Bedford. Getting some good advice, no doubt. Stretched his legs out. He certainly was the aggressor in that round of the two. Didn't perhaps land the sort of shots he was hoping to. Here we go, see if he can have more success in round number 2. So Zane Turner in the red gloves, Alex Devel in the blue from Bedford, vacant light heavyweight belt. Will it follow the same pattern as that first round? Devel coming forward, throws the right hand. Turner trying to get on the inside. Turns nicely and lands 2 right hands. Devel tries to rough him up with a couple of digs in the ribs. Again, just trying to get those shots away, but just falling fractionally short. Turner actually having some success keeping out of the way and then coming back with a couple of his own.
That's right, it's sort of short, fast visits. Nice punch selection as well. It's not just to the head, 1-2, 1-2. You know, we've got some bent arm shots, body, head, switching the attack, good right hand there. And just at the moment, it would appear that the Bedford man just can't find his reach and can't just get going. Do you know what I mean, Nigel?
Yeah, a lot of effort, but he's not landing much, is he? And although Turner's not the aggressor, as I described him before, he's actually, when he does get shots away, he's having some more success. So it's whatever the judges think is more productive, but at the moment Turner's fighting a pretty decent rear guard action or counter-attacking action and having some success. Not to say that Devel won't get his range eventually, just not warmed up quite in terms of getting the flow going. But there, Turner again catches him and has some success. There's a bloody nose now for Devel. Gives you some indication that shots have been getting through, obviously. But of those trying to throw the bigger shots, Devel, he's not really had that success. Again, throws one and misses as Turner ducks underneath it. It's perhaps not yet caught fire like some of the other bouts have, Craig.
That's right, I think Alex is really struggling to deal with the pace of attack from Zane. He's just allowing his man in. There's the superior reach there, as you can see, and he's shutting Zane out, shutting him out, and then for some reason jumping on him and he can't get any more shots off. And he's playing right into Zane's hands. Yeah.
So Zane Turner's been having some success on the inside there, and at the end of round number 2, it's Devel who's got blood streaming from his nose, and Turner, who probably you would fancy is winning it, but you never know, do you? So Devel's still got it all to play for in this final round coming up for the vacant belt, for the Western Counties Challenge belt. Again, hopefully a scheme that's going to give a big boost to amateur boxing locally in the spring of each year, and in fact throughout the year, as these boxers of course get a chance to defend their belts on club shows around the region, and that's going to give a boost to some of the club shows too, isn't it, Craig?
Very definitely, because club shows are notoriously hard to match these days, especially if you've got a couple of guys that are strange weights for their ages, and you know, this negates all that because you can get quality boxing with very little organisation. A little bit down the road as well, there's talk of our champions boxing other regions' champions. Yeah. So again, that adds another dimension to the competition.
Yeah, certainly will. But we'll walk before we can run. We'll get these up and running. And so far, it's been a pretty successful evening, I think. And now Alex Devel looking to turn this one around if he can. We're assuming that his opponent Zane Turner's in front just at the moment. The smaller man is boxing well within himself and boxing to a plan. He's manoeuvring himself around the ring, avoiding the longer range punches of Devel, and then having some success when he gets inside. So he's trying to get inside at the moment and then catch Devel as they break away. Short arm shots from Turner there, but all gets tangled up with Devel's arms. Devel tries a couple of jabs to try and get into range, but falls short. And on the inside there, that's not going to help Devel at all. In fact, as they push away, it's a chance for Turner to just get in a couple of short jabs. So I'm almost beginning to say this is maybe a clash of styles, Craig. Would you agree?
It's not quite gelling, is it? You know, not really. I heard Griggy in the corner. Forgive the nickname, but that's what we all know him as for the Bedford man. Just saying, use your range, long and busy. And as you can see there, it's effective. Every time he does it, things are good. And then next thing he lets Zane in. So the styles just really aren't quite gelling. But it's very, very hard for a contest.
Yeah, it certainly is. Alex Devel will certainly feel that with the blood all down his vest, and Zane Turner equally is breathing heavily now. He's putting a lot of work as well, just keeping the bigger man off him and getting his shots away himself. Good right hand from Turner comes in again. He tries a little uppercut on the cheeky little one on the inside. Left hand from Turner on his way in, and there's the 10-second warning. So furious flurry from somebody wouldn't go amiss, but I don't think they're going to have time for it, because we're going to hear the bell any second now. There it is to end the contest. And no lack of effort, but not the greatest contest of the evening, but still whoever wins it will be a deserving winner, and one suspects it will be Zane Turner.
Yeah, I'd go along with that, Nigel. Like I say, a superb effort. You can see by the condition of the guys that how hard fought it was and how much they wanted it. But for some reason, on the occasion, the styles just didn't gel. But as I say, it's the effort. And as I said previously this evening, it's all very well for us to sit outside here. When you're in there, it's an entirely different proposition.
Can't afford to get my shirt bloody, so I'm sorry. Well, let's see who won it, then get the official decision.
Thank you, gentlemen. The winner and the new light heavyweight belt holder, unanimous decision to Turner in the red corner. Heavyweight belt between, in the red corner, wrestling opening and his boxing belt, Gilday. And in the blue corner, wrestling Mayflower and his boxing belt, Earl. Earl in the blue, Zane in the red.
Here we go with the heavyweights then, having a bit of a standoff in the centre of the ring, not what you normally expect to see, so maybe there's going to be an edge to this one, Craig.
That's right, it's already an immediate height difference there, you can see. Jack Dell trying to use his height reach, about a good jab in the right hand there. Looking very sharp. The Mayflower guy's got to move his head, move on in the inside, don't give Jack any room to punch. This is, I think it's going to be one of the ones, don't blink, Nige.
Yeah, I think so, and it does seem maybe there's something previous to this contest. Jake Dale then in the red from Oakmead in Bournemouth, Max Earl from the Mayflower in Plymouth, and as heavyweights go, when they hit, or you get hit, then you tend to stay hit. So, as Craig says, don't blink. Could be something spectacular here, possibly. And there's a stumble from Earl, and then I'm not sure whether it's a chokehold or what over the top rope there, Craig, but it was a bit untidy, didn't it?
That's right. Could have been for 2 falls or a submission.
Yeah, it's a tag team match, I think. So we'll cut out the wrestling and get on with the boxing. 2 heavyweights looking to win this vacant belt, Western Counties Challenge belt. And as we found with all the contests this evening, the fact that there's a belt at the end of it does seem to have added a considerable edge to the proceedings, and you can sense the edge in this one as Earl is now beginning to get into his flow a little bit, gets a good jab through, makes contact, and then a right hand and a left combination. So Earl beginning to box around, that's a good right hand as well, got right through. So the shorter man beginning to get some success with those punches upwards.
That's right, they come in under the line of vision. You don't know quite what angle they're going to reach at. Jack, from his initial classic stance, he kept his shape very well. The left hand's come down very low. That's dangerous with a shorter man. A lot of leverage coming over the top. Jack, no danger to pressure. He was at the Haringey Box Cup. Lost in the semi-final to Jerome Jones of Birmingham. Very strong guy. So he would have been here before.
Yeah, certainly looks as if he knows what he's doing, but so does Earl. And Earl then going to the body there. Jack Dale with his shaven head at the sides and the steely glint in his eye, but he's taken a couple of shots there. Those eyes look a bit like a Klitschko from Dale, I think, you know, but...
yeah, that's right. There is a resemblance, isn't there?
But he's got some way to go to fulfill the achievements of those gentlemen. But this might be the first of the belts, possibly, if he can win this one tonight. End of the first round, Dale against Earl. Honours evenish, Craig, maybe, after the way Dale started, but Earl certainly came well back into it and was boxing quite well.
That's right, Jack started boxing really well behind the reach, looking good, but then all of a sudden got a little bit flustered by Max's onslaught, changed the speed with his feet, kicked on, and all of a sudden it had a different story. As I say, with some advice now from the corners, my fellow England national coach there, Steve Darwin and Steve Clark from Mayflower, and the Oakmead guys. Could be a different job in the second round. It's all about listening to the coach. It's all about composure and compliance. That's the secret of this game.
Yeah. First to rise is Jack Dale from Oakmead. Just a hint of a trickle of blood from his left nostril. Ken Brain, the referee, keeping them well apart. The two boys are twice the size that he is. So Klitschko or Dale in the red shorts against the all-white, or the black and white anyway, of Max Earl from the Mayflower in Plymouth. And Earl, there was a knee there from Dale, surely. That was really bizarre. I've never seen that before. Not in a boxing ring anyway. But there was a definite right knee. Well, that was a bizarre moment. That really was. Have you ever seen anything like that, Craig?
Unfortunately, yeah, on a few occasions, yeah. But referee Brains missed that, so that's where we are, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well. Maybe it was an instinct, perhaps, I don't know. Maybe Jack Dale was a kickboxer at one stage, but certainly not allowed in this form, and it certainly rocked Max Earl, who's slightly lost his equilibrium in this round as a result of that. big shots coming in from Dale. Swinging right hand. And Dale just leaning on. Bloody mess his face now. As Earl steps in again. So Earl having some success, but Dale is just launching big shots. A big left hand caught him, and then another one just flashed across his chin. Rick Hembrain warning him for slapping. So Max Earl not fazed by that, and just coming towards the end of this round as another big right hand by Dale, and a left hand rocks back the head of Earl. Some big shots landing. Must be virtually the end of the round, but and again Hembrain not happy with the fist of Dale. Earl certainly taking a couple of shots that rocked him back. I'll be glad to hear the bell to end this round, that's for sure, both of them. It's been a bizarre round, and there's the 10-second signal. Blood all over the face of Dale, and Max Earl looking a little wearisome as he goes back to his corner. But what do you make of that round? That was a bit bizarre, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, referee Brain was on the wrong side. He obviously didn't see the infringement, but it sort of shook. It shook Max to his boots. Hopefully, Steve can pull him back to his feet, get his senses about him again. I think it's more shock than anything, you know, because you really don't expect things like that. But there we go. I've seen it on numerous occasions, unfortunately, over the years.
Really?
Yeah, in the heat of the moment, you know, especially when fatigue sets in, skill goes. So it's everything at your disposal, really. But as I say, it's not a tactic I advocate. But as I say, hopefully this round, once the guys are recovered, things will be back to a good contest.
I was going to say, you shouldn't be doing that with your knees anyway, should you?
I'm too old now. I mean, the Stanner won't stand up to the weight either now. So.
Oh, age comes to us all, but here comes the third round then between Jake Dale and Max Earl. Who will the judges be siding with here? The big punches of Dale, and these ramrod big punches getting through. But can Earl get through himself? And then a little bit of wrestling. And Hembrain is not happy. He's warning him for holding. So I think that's a point off. And Earl now looking to turn that to his advantage. And again, slapping again. Hembrain not happy with him at all, I think was fair to say. Now it's Earl coming back again. What do you make of what Ken's intervention was there?
I think it's entirely right, especially with the slaps. And here we go again, he's tying his man up on the inside. I think Kenny Brain's given him every opportunity, but in the end, enough is enough, isn't it?
Yeah. So the final round, and Dale just stuck in the corner, and this time it was probably Earl who was the transgressor, but it's going to be a slugfest until the final bell here, I fancy. Again, a bit of a slappy, swinging right hand by Dale, and then Dale just charges across the ring, pushing his man back. Dale getting very, very tired, I think, now from all the shots he's thrown. Good left jab by Earl gets through. And Earl trying to get into the body. And Dale just holding on around the waist of Earl and leaning down from his considerable height. And he's so tired now, and Earl's got him trapped against the ropes, and I think that is going to be a standing count. And Dale's complaining that he was foot was trapped, but he looks a little bit wobbly, doesn't he, Craig? Oh, his gum shield's out. His gum shield's out. That's what it's about.
Gum shield.
That's right. The gum shield's come out. Gum shield's come out once again. Kenny Brain just didn't see that. No. Again, it's a long night, hard contest. 8 contests down. These things happen.
So here we go, the end. Earl lands one on the way in there. And it's, well, ragged is one word to describe it at the moment. And certainly Ken Brain's had his work cut out. And there's a right hand that eventually ends the contest. And Earl, and there's a little bit of ill feeling at the end of that. For various reasons. It's got the crowd excited. Sum that up in a sentence, Craig.
That's right, it's all adrenaline. The guys have been boxing, you know. It's just one of those things, and you know, I'm sure in a second everything will be fine, no problems at all. But in the heat of the moment, these things happen or react in different ways.
Not the most edifying spectacle, but there we are. Let's see who won it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of bout number 8 and the new heavyweight belt holder with a unanimous decision is Earl in the Bedford. Final bout of the evening is for the Bugdale super heavyweight belt between, in the red corner representing the St. Agnes Irish Boxing Club, Marcus Kelly. And in the blue corner representing the Apollo Irish Boxing Club, Harry Armstrong. Armstrong green, Kelly red.
So the final contest of the evening, the big boys, the really big boys, 91 kilograms plus category. Harry Armstrong from Apollo ABC, boxing out of the blue corner in his spangly shorts, against Marcus Kelly from St Agnes, who doesn't have such spangly shorts. But tell us about these two, Craig.
That's right, Marcus, 25 years old, 13 bouts, winning 7. Last beat Andy Douglas at Camborne by a TKO, February 14. Coached by Wayne Salmon and Tony Partridge down in St Agnes. And we got Harry Armstrong from Torquay, originally from Camden in London. He was national junior champion and semi-finalist in the national novice championships.
So a bit of pedigree then.
He'd been around a little bit. I should just say it's lovely in the Apollo corner to see former national coach Alan Brightman back to fitness following his stroke. Lovely to see you back, Alan.
Yeah, it certainly is. So this is Marcus Kelly then, the smaller, stockier of the two, who's unleashing a bit of a barrage in the early stages and actually having some success. But Harry Armstrong decides he's not going to have that, and he's going to fire back himself. which he does. So the taller man with a longer reach, Harry Armstrong, you'd think he ought to prevail. He's got to get into his routine, into his rhythm. A little 1-2 there. But fair play to Marcus, who's keeping on coming in. Again, as we've seen a couple of times this evening, the smaller man trying to get on the inside, but being battered at the moment by Harry Armstrong's longer shots.
Phase it, Harry.
And there's a surprise. You didn't see that one coming, did he?
No, he just left his chin out there. The St Agnes man sidestepped him right hand and down he went. He sort of came onto the shot. So he's fully recovered now. There's going to be an onslaught from the St Agnes guy. That wasn't in the script. And he's gone again.
He's got him again, hasn't he? As you said, clearly not in the script, but Harry Armstrong just looking a little 6s and 7s here, and literally 6s and 7s. He's got up to 8. And now Marcus Kelly's got something to really cling on to and see if he can finish it.
He's got to be careful now he doesn't punch himself out, Marcus.
Well, he's certainly giving it a go, and Harry, if he's sensible, is going to take a bit of a rest, but he's actually joining in the fray and getting a bit of his own back here.
That's right.
But he only needs to get caught one more shot and he could be in real trouble.
Trying the right thing here, trying to tie the man up, waste a bit of time, get his head clear.
Well, there we are. That was a turn up for the ball, wasn't it, Craig? As you say, he just sort of walked onto the shot, didn't he?
That's right. He came on in just as our man sidestepped, and he just walked straight onto one. But that's heavyweight boxing for you, Nigel. If you get 91 plus kilos hitting you, you're going over.
Yeah. But the secret is having that bulk, if I can put it that way, that weight, but also being mobile, isn't it? And for his size and shape, Marcus is actually pretty mobile.
It is a different body composition, morphic, metamorphic, you know, different, same weights, but vastly different physiques. So they're all individuals, and I say these individuals happen to be absolutely lethal when they punch. So as I say, absolutely anything can happen here. Now Harris sort of got his senses back together, and the St Agnes man's had a breather. We'll see what happens here.
But presumably that would have been a 10-8 round, weren't it, because of the knockdown?
Would have been a 10-8 round, yeah, that was dominance.
So that means that Marcus Kelly has a significant advantage as we go into the second round. He's the smaller man, the one on the attack now, with the red gloves, Marcus Kelly. And back comes Harry Armstrong, unleashes some body shots, but well parried by the arms of Marcus. And then Marcus just turned his back fractionally, and the referee called a halt. So the Diners getting into this one. No Bristol boxer, but they pick who they fancy most and are giving them their backing. The bigger man trying to get on top, but physicality not proving everything. Good straight left jab though from Armstrong, got through there. The danger for Marcus Kelly would definitely be that he could punch himself out there, because he put a lot into that first round inevitably, didn't he?
That's right, and with a half-about boxer with some skill such as Harry Armstrong, it's something you can't afford to do. But he's still having success, a cumulative effect of wearing down. He's just walking Harry down, and I wonder if Harry's fully recovered from the last round as yet.
Yeah. Well, Armstrong needs a couple of big rounds if he's going to take this belt, the final championship belt of the night, and Marcus Kelly got through again there with a good right hand. So probably not what Harry Armstrong had expected here tonight, so he's got to work it out in his mind, but it's a good left hand straight through to the head of Marcus Kelly. Kelly still coming forward, landing well. Back comes the short body punches, the hooks to the ribs from Armstrong. Just the physical fascination to see what's going to happen here. The two men giving it all they've got. Straight shots is the advice that's been given. And at this stage, what do you think Harry Armstrong, the bigger man, has to do?
He's got to shut the guy out. He's got to get him on the end of the long shots. Allow the room to build speed, acceleration, and not getting close to this guy. This guy is so dangerous on the inside, as we've seen.
Yeah. And there's the bell to end round number 2. So perhaps not going the way Harry Armstrong might have thought it would. Still got a lot of work to do in the third round if he's going to turn this about. So I think his head must be cleared by now, but if anything, he's just trying to think what he's got to do. He's got to use his brain to win this as much as his fists, isn't he?
That's right. He's a very young guy to be this big, and people forget his tender years. And he's in with a fully grown man. So it can be quite imposing, especially when you've been hit on the chin, clearly gone for momentarily, and get back to your feet and get back to your boxing. It takes some doing. You can tell now, if you look across at Marcus, he absolutely loves the game. He thinks it's great. He'll admit he'll probably never be a world beater, but he's a solid competitor and having a great success here in this tournament, which probably be the ceiling of his career.
Yeah, so if he can clinch this belt, then it's there forevermore for him to tell his children, grandchildren about. But 3 minutes between the two of them then to decide who's going to go home with the belt round their waist tonight. Marcus Kelly, the challenger from St Agnes. Harry Armstrong from the Apollo ABC. The bigger man with the blue gloves. So can Armstrong dominate this final round? 2 good left hands to the side of the head there, cause a problem, and then some body shots, and the towels just come in, and in the end it's Harry Armstrong who just proved too good physically, or well, it's not over. The towel definitely came in then, Craig, didn't it? Yeah,
the protection count, you can't throw the towel in while the referee's counting, but a merciful act by the St Agnes corner. He did everything he needed to do. Great showing, compassionate act by the corner, all credit to the St Agnes guys, and a good win from near catastrophe for Harry Armstrong.
Yeah, because a couple of good, decent body shots that finished it there, weren't there?
There was, yeah, and there's probably no way back for Marcus there, but right through the contest he did everything he had to do, and that's lovely to see. They just knocked 7 bells out of each other, fall into each other's arms, and that's this sport all over, Nige.
It certainly is. Well, it's been a great evening. Time now just to see the presentation of the final belt, which will go to Harry Armstrong from the Apollo Amateur Boxing Club.
Right, and then the winner and the new super heavyweight belt holder is Armstrong in the green corner. Right, gentlemen, that's the first time we've held this contest up here, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll be doing it again next season. Thank you very much for all your support. Thank you. Hey, Chris, we've got a second away.